Hi, everybody. Good morning. It is Friday, the 8th of April, and we're going to talk a little bit about our current events. Then, immediately after this feed, we're going to shift and go over to Zoom and then have an office hour where we can sit and talk and hang out and figure out what's going on. All right. Real quick, today's biggest current event story came out just this morning. Unemployment. Unemployment is up to 14.7%, which is around 20.5 million jobs lost in April, which is a tremendous amount. Probably not. The numbers are actually probably bigger than that. It's a little underreported. Some news reporters are saying those numbers could be as high as 25%. So a lot more people. Of about 35 million jobs. Nonetheless, that's pretty bad news. This is some of the worst unemployment we've seen since the Great Depression in the 1930s, which we haven't really learned about yet. You'll hit it next year. Will you? No, next year's Civil War. You won't hit it next year. Stay tuned to high school. It's coming up. And I've seen some people talking about not being able to hit a full recovery for about a decade, depending on how fast we come back, depending on how the economy springs up. So rotten news, unfortunately, on the employment front. Out of Georgia, I don't know if you've been following this. Georgia police have finally arrested a father and son for a murder of Mahmoud Arbery, who is an African-American man who was jogging through his neighborhood, got assaulted by these men and shot. There is footage. It's pretty horrifying. This happened way back in February, but didn't receive a whole lot of attention until just recently when the footage was released, and there's been calls for them to get arrested and get charged. They have been arrested, and they have been charged with murder. How this will all pan out, well, we'll pay attention. But, yeah, some news out of Georgia. As if the pandemic wasn't enough, we now have to worry about murder hornets. That's right, murder hornets. They're coming to the United States from Asia. They've first appeared in Washington State. I don't know if you've seen pictures of these things. They're hornets between 1.5 inches and 2 inches long, which is pretty huge. No, they don't actually walk around and murder humans because that would be horrifying. They are big, which makes them pretty scary. The sting is pretty painful, not necessarily deadly. They do murder honeybees, though. So the bee population in the United States has been on decline in the past few years. People think it has a lot to do with environmental issues. So this introducing a new predator into the North American honeybee environment. It's not a good idea, and it's my cat. And nobody wants a bug flying around the size of their thumb stinging people. Not good. News out of Washington, D.C. A naval valet, someone who escorts the president, works with the president, goes with him inside of vehicles and things like that. A valet. He's a Navy official. He's tested positive for COVID-19, which means we have someone had COVID-19 inside of the White House environment. This is pretty bad news. Whatever you think of the president, whether you like him or not, we do want him and our officials that run the country to remain healthy. So this is concerning. They've been doing testing at the White House once a week. They're now upping up to once a day. And, of course, we're keeping a close eye on everybody's health in the White House. So we hope that official gets better soon. Finally, it's finally happened. I have not one, two sports stories on current events. Sports story number one, you probably guess it because I generally don't talk about sports. This has to do with racing. NASCAR, which is the American Racing Circuit, is coming back, I believe, next week to no fans. They're going to have 4 races in 2 weeks with no fans in the audience, just dudes driving in a circle, which I don't know if that sounds cool to you. It's cool to me. Armani, enough with the letters, really. Very distracting. That's why I don't like comments during this live stream. Anyway, NASCAR comes back to absolutely zero audience, and there's all sorts of precautions that are being put in place for folks that are participating in the sport, the drivers, the pit folks, pit people. Additionally, we came out yesterday with the 2020 NFL schedule. We don't quite know what those games are going to look like. What we're going to do is we're going to keep an eye on NASCAR and see how they do. We're also going to keep an eye on Europe. They're beginning to open up games. They're having a football, European football, called soccer in this country, game in Germany, I think, this week. And there's the other precautions or other sports begin to open up slowly, carefully. We're going to see how Europe does opening up their sports. I'm not a huge sports guy. I'm a big racing guy. But I know a lot of you are really into sports, really into basketball. I know we're missing our baseball season right now. Hopefully we can figure out a way to get some of these sports, some of these diversions going again so we can, enjoy our passions. All right. That's all I've got for current events today. Actually, I do have one more story. If you haven't heard, we're done. School has been in-school learning has been canceled for this year. So we are going to be learning like this for about 8 more weeks, about 39 or so more days. We'll figure it out. All right, everybody, I'm going to switch over to Zoom. So I will meet you over there in a few minutes if you want to hang out and talk. If not, have a great day, and I will talk to you again on Monday.